And welcome back, everyone, to another dose of Digital Soma. This is the second episode of my playthrough of City Skylines. Started a brand new city in Marble Mountain, I believe is the map we're playing with. Came with the Industries DLC. If you don't have that DLC yet, I highly recommend it. It is a lot of fun to play with. Well, if you like micromanaging, it's a lot of fun to play with. If you like micromanaging and figuring out traffic problems, then it should be right up your alley. We are starting to have power issues. Let's see if we can do... let's see, 12,000 for 20 watts. This is 19,000 for 40 watts. Definitely don't want wind turbines. We'll go ahead, and we don't have oil yet. We'll go ahead and add a couple of these for now. Oop. That's not where I wanted to place that. Let's move that just out just a little bit. Yep. There we go. Is this one 20? Power output 25? Power output 25? Perfect. Alright. And I noticed an issue. I moved the power plant, but I didn't dezone that industry that built up on this road, so we are going to just dezone that one, because their services can't get to it. It's just going to keep complaining. Alright. So, now we have a little bit of demand for industrial and a little bit of demand for residential. And taking a look at our topography here, I think I'm actually going to dezone all this residential and just put in a park. Good parks with trees. We'll add a, we'll do a dog park. There's a lot of trees in it. Large playground. Don't destroy. I should have moved those around. Alright, so I'll move that one there. We'll add a down there, and we'll go ahead and do a small playground. We can, and then we'll just plant some trees in between. Just a few trees to make it look nice. That way, all the water that's draining from this hill won't run into the neighborhood over here. All the trees in the parks will hopefully soak it up. That's not actually simulated in games, but it's something to think about. Just something to consider is how the water would flow based on the topography of the land that you have, and just how to build your houses and build your roads in order to handle what flooding would actually occur in your life. All right. So I think we'll go ahead and add another road. That one just kind of flattens out here, so we could probably connect it up to this one. Just do here, nice. Turn all of these off. Just go on the land here. Stop there. I guess we could keep going. It doesn't actually drop off. It doesn't slope down to the right here, like I thought it did. It just goes straight down off the cliff. Don't go sledding down that hill. All right. Seasonal changes would be so great if they added that to the game. They have the Snowfall DLC, which is a lot of fun if you haven't played with it. Adds a lot of cool parks and just a interesting dynamic to play with having to clear the snow off your roads and everything. Whew, those roads are quite ugly, but hopefully we can unify it a little bit. I think what we're going to do is start here and try to follow that steep hill where it starts changing direction. We'll do something like this, and over like that. That'll be the basis of this neighborhood. that up. Connect that up. That up. Alright. Now we're still in the suburbs here, so with such low density and low population, you don't really need to worry about collector, arterial, and the third road type that I totally know the name of and I'm just blanking on right now. And we don't have enough for the cemetery. But it's only 8,000, so if we put this on 3 and wait for some money to roll in, we should be able to get there shortly. And we can actually put the cemetery here since we have such a big space that needs filling. Just waiting around for someone. Alright. Need a cemetery before I build these pipes. Oh, I have something else that will help. We can increase our taxes to 12%. They start getting angry if you put it at 13, so 12 is like the 12 is a good place to have it, and we are at 8,000, 9,000, $10,000. So build the cemetery right there next to the water tower. We'll make it look a bit nicer. Probably do some footpaths or something around here. Alright. So now we actually start to get a huge demand for industrial. Now, do we have any other fertile land besides this? We have some down there. And we have some over there. There's some over there. Oh, there's a huge patch over here. Maybe we'll hold off on putting the farm industry in until we have some place to put everything else around here. Alright, so now we'll bring topography again. Pretty flat space up here, so we can do pretty much what we want. We'll add parks along. Oh, maybe we'll just do a tree line. Doesn't actually have to be a park. That. That, and we'll see if we can get a curve. That might be a little too tight. Ugly and weird, but suburbs always have ugly and weird streets. Alright, and then we'll just start putting some pipes along this area. Not exactly an efficient use of land. They have such big backyards. I wonder if can't really sneak another road in there. We could probably cut across. Give me that topography. And this is where it flattens out. We could probably do a road down there. So let's see. Curve. Just like that. Why is that one way? That's not what I wanted. Regular road. Don't need to be one way. That works, I think. Alright. Does that turn work at the end there? Yeah. It goes with the land. That'll work. Alright, so now we have a whole lot of residential still. I'm going to put parks in there. That's too big. The small playground will work. Yeah, there we go. Nice and wide. Go ahead and add some footpaths just to connect it out. Where's the dirt one? There's the dirt one. Is that the dirt one? No, that's the zoo path. There's the dirt one. Right. Just like that, and just like turn off all that. We have the angle that we need. Try to match it up with that side. That kind of works. Not perfect, but it works. And then we'll go ahead and just plant some trees. Trees. That one, nope. That one, yep. Just around. Not perfect, just kind of in a little bit of Cemetary Street. To be a little bit random. There we go. Don't know if that works or not, but it looks good-ish. Alright. So we'll go ahead and give these lucky people a home right next to the park. Beautiful. I don't think we have enough money for elementary school. There we go. We'll put one across in the park. That way the little kids will have some place to play. And just fill this out. Skip that. No, skip that one too. All these people will just have extra big yards. Take that one out. We'll actually take those 3 out, so that makes 1 lot. Take those 2 out. Hopefully that makes 1 lot. I'll actually take that out too. And that. 1 lot, 2 lot, 3 lot, and that. That out, take that out, take that out. Just to be sure we have a semi-consistent lot size. At least 4 around, so there's no lonely ones. Take those 2 out. Take that out, and I'll take that out. Alright. There's that. Residential demand is going down. They need water. Are we out of water? We are actually out of water. Oh! Well, we had our first fire. Didn't notice it, so that was well done. Oh, it stopped itself. That's good. We'll put in a fire station soon. But we will destroy those buildings, because I don't think burned down buildings rebuild themselves. Abandoned buildings will rebuild themselves, but not burned down ones. Alright, we need a fire station. So, saving up for $12,000 to get that fire station. Let's see, 12,000. Here we go. Right next to that police department is probably a good place to put it. All right. And we still have a big firefighter, a big industry demand. Got firefighting on my mind since we have a fire there and we just placed it. No water because I forgot to build the pipes out. Usually I'm pretty good at that. Now one thing I wish for in this game is a little bit more strategy to the power and the water. Because right now it's, I mean, you can just put it down in like an efficient grid and just, I believe it's like 8, no it's not 8, it's I need all the guides please, so I can demonstrate what I'm talking about. Come on. Oh. That helps. Let's see. So that goes there. I believe it. Is it 10? No. Is it 12? Yeah, you can just build it in a 12, you know, just straight lines every 12 across, and you cover your water needs for the city. So it's more of a it's more of a chore than a challenge. It would be interesting to see if they could get a way to make that a bit more interesting. Just have it. Yeah, that's far enough away, I think. Have it to where you need to consider the. Why didn't I have power? You should have power. There's a power line running right through your square. Is this stuff? That's still connected. There you go. That was weird. It'd be interesting if you had to take it into account the not enough educated workers. Big surprise there. Oh, come on, we have a huge capacity. Probably at high school. Turn the speed back down to 1 so we can enjoy ourselves. Yeah, we'll educate maybe to high school. Alright, but we don't have demand for anything else except for industry right now, so I guess we'll just go ahead and expand this out a bit more. So we'll go ahead and connect this road up here. Go straight across. Straight across. I believe this is where the land levels out, yeah, so we just keep going with the boring industrial grid. I'll still make this a one-way road though. We'll make this a one-way road. Bring this up. That, we'll make this a two-way road. Or does it have a direct connection up here to the out? It does not. It has that. That'll be fine. Alright, now, water down. I wish it was a bit more challenging for water, where you had to take into account like pumps and substations and taking into the topography of the land, being sure that, you know, the pipes were headed in the right direction, the sewage flowed downhill and the water flowed downhill, where you had to have like actual like strong pumping stations. And like the power, rather than having just high tension wires, if you actually had to take it from the power plant to a power transformer and throw medium voltage lines everywhere, and be able to actually have power poles on the streets or do underground wires, it'd be really interesting instead of just, you know, something that you have to do. So there. And I do seem to be complaining about this game a lot, but that's just because I really like it. I really enjoy it, and just some things, you know, I wish were just a little bit better, just a little bit more of a challenge, just a little bit more detail. Just requires just a little bit more strategy, because this game is really awesome, and I love what Colossal Order and Paradox have done with it. Since release too, like all the expansions are great. All the main expansions, I would say. But you know, I've bought almost every expansion so far, and I haven't regretted purchasing any of them. I'm missing Campus DLC. I haven't bought that one yet, and I'm missing some of the like content creator packs, but that's about it. But like I love what they've done with the game. Like, it's a lot of fun, but some things I just wish they'd push it a little bit further. You know, make it a little bit more detailed, make it a little bit more challenging, and I think it would be really, really cool. There's actually a game that that's in early access right now that I've had my eye on, called Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and in that you have to manage the power. You have to build substations, you have to build transformers, you have to build switches, and it looks like a really cool. And like the substations have a power limit, so you can't. So all the buildings you're supplying can't draw more power than what the substation can handle, and I think that's really cool. It's something you actually have to manage versus just something that you plop down and forget about. We're actually getting. Are these level 2? I think they're. Yeah. So all the ones that are upgrading, we don't have a high school, so they're all unhappy. But I think you're just gonna have to deal with it for a while. Can I put in a high school yet? No, I cannot. So yeah, you're definitely going to have to deal with it and stop upgrading commercial. But yeah, it makes it something you actually have to manage versus just essentially a chore that you have to do. Like, there's no reason, like with how the water and the electricity works now. Really, there's no reason for it not to just be spread by the roads that you build, because there's no detail in it. There's no challenge. It's just build a power line, and that's literally all you need. It's just another something that you do versus anything that has sort of strategy and thought behind it. Just fix some of these. Don't like that. That's a 4. That's fine. We'll take that out. Take those 2 out. Take that out. And we'll take that one out. We'll take those 2 out as well. There we go. That is a good lot size for that. 14,000. I have no idea how much a high school costs. It costs 24,000. So we are not there yet, but luckily we have demand for residential now. How's our hospital doing? Still just fine with... Oh, how's Death here doing? Yeah, that's fine. Nobody's complaining. Fire... seems to be taken care of. Base seems to be taken care of. Don't have quite enough jail capacity, but we'll get there. Alright, now where do I want the next commercial spot to be? We're going to have to change the power lines to there. Give me that. Yeah, we can. These power lines anymore. Planning on using that space real soon. Can we do that? Nope, that's in the way. That. Alright. Perfect. So now. Look at the topography. Yeah, this area is pretty flat, so it has a little bit of a bend to it. We're gonna need another commercial district soonish. We'll just keep going with the. We'll just keep going with residential for now. That's fine. 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 Let's do this and edit. I think that's a little bit faster. Right. Is this whole area watered? I guess we don't need that power line either. Bulldozer. There we go. And now we'll put those away. Take off those 2, take off those 2, take off those 2, and there we go. Alright. Well, if you'd stop upgrading, you'd have the space available. 23,000, almost enough for a high school. That's not the education button. Alright, there we go. 24,000. Oh, actually, a nice place for it. And then have a road. These all off. Put it parallel with the high school. Keep the angle so the road's actually straight. Don't actually know if that little turn is necessary, but it makes it a nice T junction. Alright, and we messed up this. So let's go back and edit things. To 4, take that out. Take those two out, take that out. Take those two out. There, add that, take that out, and take this out too. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and add a park in the back. Maybe, not. Once we have the money, we will. I do have some of the creator content parks. Park maintenance building. That's all the miscellaneous stuff. That's not what we want. Shrubs, rocks, water structures, not what we want. Oh, tourism. That's what I was looking for. I don't have 3,600 people yet. Almost, though. We're getting close. Do we have enough for a basketball court? We do. There we go. Alright. A little bit more industrial demand. They're claiming they don't have workers. Which they don't. Alright. Try to get more residents in then. Just go ahead along this line here. Until those houses build up, we need that power line there. Alright. There's that. There's that. We'll take off that on there. Put that on, and that's done. We'll add a good old fashioned neighborhood gazebo. Something there. Maybe some nice little bushes. I've got plenty of room to play with, so I'll just do that. Won't make anybody happy, but it looks nice. Just a nice little detail to have. Kind of hidden away in a useless corner. Alright, so let's see if we can't do it anymore. This area looks pretty flat-ish, so we could probably go ahead and add a road off of this one. Here. Not too far. Go. Just add a short little cul-de-sac. There. That might be ugly. We'll see what kind of lots we can get out of it. So 4 there. We'll actually keep that without there. Oh, don't want that house there. There we go, there we go. we go. Take off that. There we go. Take off that. That's not going to build anyway. That. Take off that little square. There we go. Actually, we'll go ahead and add a little path. Road guidelines. There we go. And then we'll take off that, add those two back, take off that. There we go, just a nice little cut through so people can walk to the commercial district. We'll call this out, take out that square. Alright. Don't think we're going to be able to get... Don't think we'll be able to reach, what was it, Big Town? Busy Town. Don't think we'll be able to reach Busy Town before time runs out on this episode. But we'll just do a little bit more zoning and see what happens. More commercial. Take out actually all of this just to make it a bit more even. There we go. Alright. Yeah, it looks like development's slowing down. So I think unfortunately we're just going to have to call that an episode there. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions about what I'm doing, be sure to leave a comment. I will be sure to answer any questions that you have if I know the answer. If I don't know the answer, I'll happily look it up and help you out. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.